Do you want to know how to make your own corn tortilla chips by baking them in the oven? Crispy and crunchy homemade chips that are made with only a few simple ingredients and are sturdy enough for even the thickest dips. Hey there, I'm London Brazil from evolvingtable.com, where you'll learn how to make nourishing meals to serve the ones you love. And today we're going to be making these easy baked tortilla chips. Who else is with me that one of the absolute worst food moments is when you have your corn tortilla chip, big old bowl of chunky guacamole, you're going in for that scoop, and crack, the tortilla chip breaks. Now you're left with chip crumbs, guacamole covered fingers, and a rumbling belly. What if I told you you can make perfectly crisp, crunchy, and sturdy homemade corn tortilla chips with only 3 ingredients, a knife, and an oven? So if you're ready to get to baking, then come on in and let's get started. We'll first start off by preheating the oven to 375 degrees. One of the best things about this recipe is that you will only need a few simple ingredients, the main one being tortillas. Corn tortillas are used instead of flour because they will give you the best, most crisp and crunchy chip. You can either choose to use white or yellow corn tortillas. There will be minimal impact on the flavor of your chips. It's simply a preference of presentation. When choosing your tortillas, look for ones that are about 5 to 6 inches in diameter. While you definitely can use larger or smaller tortillas, you'll have to make sure and adjust the amount of oil and salt you use accordingly. When selecting which of the tortillas you want to use from the package, make sure that you look for the ones that are whole and not cracked. Once 12 of them are selected, you'll want to mix together 1 tablespoon of oil and half a teaspoon of salt in a small bowl. Avocado or vegetable oil are the best type of oil to use since they have a mild flavor. Olive oil can also be used if that's what you have on hand. The 4th ingredient here is optional, but I truly think just a little bit of lime juice gives your chips a burst of fresh flavor. Add 1 teaspoon of lime juice, or a little less than half of a lime. Whisk the ingredients together until well combined. Using a pastry brush, cover both sides of each tortilla in a light coating of the oil mixture. You should have just enough of it to coat 12 5 to 6 inch tortillas. If you brush too much oil on the tortillas, they will become soggy when baked and not crispy and crunchy. Once your tortillas are completely coated in oil, you're going to want to divide them in half. From here, you can either use a knife or a pastry cutter and cut each tortilla into 4 or 6 equal pieces. If you like large chips, you'll want to cut them into 4s. If you prefer smaller chips, cut them into 6. Place half of the cut tortilla pieces on a large baking sheet. It's okay if some of them overlap slightly. Repeat with the remaining pieces on another baking sheet. Now it's time to pop these into our preheated 375-degree oven for 12 to 14 minutes if you're using a lighter colored baking sheet. If you happen to be using a darker baking sheet, you'll want to reduce the cook time to 8 to 11 minutes. Trust me, this absolutely matters. I was using one of my very old, very worn-in baking sheets, and the chips cooked up quite a bit faster. You'll know the chips are done baking when they are crisp and golden. Once your freshly baked tortilla chips have cooled, you can store them in a large 1-gallon sized Ziploc bag for up to 3 to 4 days. Or you can always just chow down on them right out of the oven. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, did you see how easy that was to dip this chip into that super thick guacamole? And look at how crispy and crunchy they are. These are seriously better than any store-bought tortilla chips you've ever had. If you liked what you saw here today, make sure you check out these other easy dip recipes that would taste great with these homemade tortilla chips. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you again soon.